The bill that passed the legislature was a $975 million deal. That was May of 2012. Since then, and of that 975, the Vikings contributed $477 million. Since then, the additional contributions come from the Will family and the Vikings in the amount of $130 million. So the team/private contribution is now at $607 million of this $1.1 billion stadium. So the team and private side is in for 54% of the capital cost. In addition, the team pays $10 million a year in rent and capital improvements. So we have the highest rent in the NFL, and we're paying a significant portion of the operating expenses and costs of the building. So from the beginning, the vision of the Vikings has been, let's create a building that has the best fan experience in the league. And we think you'll see today that we think we've delivered that great fan experience. And that a lot of that $130 million investment over the last 3 years has gone specifically and directly to fan amenities, whether it be technology or elevators, escalators, some of the great additions in the art program, the legacy ship that Tanya Dreesen will talk about in a little bit, and John Penhollow will talk about the technology. A lot of our additional investment has gone to those amenities that will benefit our fans directly. When you walk into the bowl and you get this sense, this intimate feeling that this bowl is very intimate. This experience is going to be an electric atmosphere on game day when the stadium is full. The scoreboards where they're located, the 10th largest scoreboards in the league, but we think they're the best because of where they're located, right in your direct line of vision. The app, the fan experience, the engagement. that you'll experience. Double the concourse width in many cases, double the restrooms than the Metrodome, but just a tremendous feeling for fans when you get in the building. This roof product is incredible to deliver this indoor-outdoor feel that we've wanted. Get the feeling of the elements with a great venue and a great feeling on game day. Sidelines and suites and seats that are closer to the action than any in the league.
Well, we're standing on the field of US Bank Stadium, and with me is Brian Truby. And Brian, you're with HKS, the architect firm behind this, right?
That's right.
And you're from Dallas, but tell us, I want to know, when you undertake a project like this, how do you get your mind around something this big?
Very slowly. It's actually one of the most interesting, captivating. We have a huge passion for it. It's a large project, but if you take it from its basic elements and work it down, which is really the way we go through the creative process, it actually comes together pretty nicely. You just have to have an open mind, and you have to look at things completely differently every single project.
Now, how many people, like as far as architects, did you have working on this project?
In our firm, we had 40 to 60 at one time or another, but if you look at the whole team of design professionals, architects, engineers, acoustical consultants, specialty consultants, about 1,200 over the life of the project.
Wow. I don't know if people can quite get the grasp of it by just seeing it on TV, but when they come here, they are just going to be blown away. It's the best description I can give. It by far exceeds expectations. So when you start a project like this, tell us a little bit about how do you grasp the concept and what really the Vikings were looking for?
Well, you know, we're architects, but what we do first is really anthropology. We're very focused on what are the things that are the most important parts of the local culture, and how has that been shown over time when they build things. So for instance, every building built since World War II in Minneapolis, it's an important civic building, and most of the private buildings have all been built in the modern architectural style. They're very progressive, edgy, modern buildings. They're looking toward the future, and so for us, that was very important. We needed to do a building that followed in that same evolutionary line that says so much about the forward-thinking culture here in Minneapolis, and so that's why you see a building that the expression simply is very modern, very, very progressive, very much about the future. You know, other things we do, for instance, are to understand this is a very unique climate.
Yeah.
You know, this is the coldest, harshest climate a building like this will probably ever be built in. And so for us, we needed to listen to that very carefully and understand how buildings have been built in this climate for thousands of years. And so the drama that you see here with this huge single super frame ridgeline going down the middle of the building is a response to architecture that's been done in this climate for thousands of years. If you look at the old Viking longhouses, they had this big steeply pitched roof. That was to get the snow off the roof. When we entered this project, the previous designs for it had one of the heaviest roofs just to handle the snow load. Well, we realized if we do what everybody's done for that many years, a simple move, but a pretty dramatic move, we could get the snow off the roof and handle the climate and create really the lightest roof on an NFL building built anywhere in the country in a climate that would require the heaviest roof just based on the snow load. So listening to things like that, very important, big part of our research that we do about the local culture and the local climate. The ETFE is not only the clear roof is not only a response to technology, and this is a very technology-rich region also. A lot of the technologies that we use today originate here in Minneapolis and Minnesota, but what it allowed us to do is, again, help that system, and every building, every monumental building is a system. The ETFE actually helps us melt the snow and keep it off the roof on the south side, and at the same time create really the only fixed roof outdoor stadium really ever built, monumental building ever built.
Wow, I mean, it's incredible. What would you say if you had to say there was one thing that you were kind of most proud of, or you said, we really nailed it on this building? Is there one thing that you can kind of put your finger on?
I think it's interesting. It's an abstract thing, because when you create a building like this, it's a form that's completely unique. It's really an invention.
Okay.
And we have one chance to get the prototype right, because we're not selling 30 million of them. And that the aspect of this as an invention and how challenging that is and getting it right, the thing that's the most pleasing for us, I think, is when people tell us that it looks kind of like a big giant shard of ice, or it looks like a Viking longhouse, or it looks like a ship, but they say things that for them are very important, but they're things that originate with the culture here. And of course it doesn't look like any of those, but it does look like all of those. But it's its own unique expression and not a copy. It's just completely unique, and that creates a long-term value that's really what we're, I think, the most proud of.
Well, I think it's safe to say I don't know that there's going to be another one of these ever built again.
Well, I'm going to be out of business if that's true, so I hope that's not true. But there will never be one like this ever built. And nothing that we build in the future will ever diminish the uniqueness of this. That's the really cool thing about doing something that's a one-off.
Yeah. Well, Brian, I just want to congratulate you on a job very well done.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Appreciate it.
And thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right. So again, we're at the brand new Viking Stadium, the U.S. Bank Stadium. And again, it is something that everybody's going to want to come and see at some point. This is Jeff Layton reporting live for TV3.